Welcome to the Morning Blessings. I am Tessa-Marie. Welcome to the Morning Blessing. How are you feeling today? Today is Friday, the 30th of August, 2024. Good morning, Stacy. How are you feeling this morning? Good morning, Colin. How are you feeling this morning? It's a wonderful day. It is. Hello, nephew. How are you feeling today? It is. Oh, here we are. It's 8 o'clock. Take a sip and let's start the show. So, how are you guys doing today? Hello, Lisa. How are you doing today? Well, yesterday I had a workshop at the library, the public library, one of our huge public libraries. It's a political thing for me. When he became mayor of the GTA, he took money from the other 4 cities and loaded it into North York and made it there. And the library there is state of the art. Beautiful, stunning library. Anyway, it's a choice to drive there. Or good morning, Lisa. How are you guys feeling this morning? Or to take the public transit. So when I looked at it and I know the area pretty well, I said public transit it is, and it was quite wonderful, really. At the back of my house is the GO train station, 3 minutes away. And the guy cutting the grass saw me walking. He said, "You want to ride to the station?" I said, "Sure." So I jumped in this truck and got there. Then I got to Union Station. 20 minutes later, then I got to a 40-minute ride north on the subway, got off and walked down Yonge Street. And man, what an area. Amazing. Yonge is the longest street in the world. So there's no other street in the world as long as Yonge Street. And it's similar to George Street in Australia. So anyway, I walked. Got there, we met people on the way. One lady from Ethiopia said hello. She said she's from Ethiopia. How are you doing? Just like that. And anyway, we walked to the library. She was going somewhere else, and I went into the library, and I hadn't been in there. And it was you look up, everything is circular, everything is beautiful, rooms for everything. And then I met the lady who invited me to do the free workshop. Forget free workshop, no pay. And when I got in there, I didn't want to go. So it's not because there was no pay. There was something, sometimes you agree and then you say, to go all the way to North York. As you can tell, it's about an hour and a half away. But if you drove, it might be 2 because of the traffic. Anyway, so I got there and that day, Wednesday was it? You know my famous question, if you were you, what would you do now, right? So I'm leaning on the kitchen counter and I'm going, oh, do I have to do this? If you were me, what would you do now? And it's like, boom, they ask, go. It's a door that's going to open. It's another door. Just go and do your best. Push it. You'll find the door open. So anyway, I said, that's it. I asked, I have an answer, I'm going to go. Sometimes when you get into the habit of asking that question, answer, hello, Lorna, good morning. How are you feeling today? When you get into the habit of asking that question, it comes to you all of a sudden. There it was. So I said, okay, I'm going to go. So I got there, and they started dribbling in, and then she said, give her 2 minutes, to 2 o'clock. And then it came. So the topic was finance. It was on credit cards, lines of credit, credit bureau, that type of stuff, right up my alley. I had slides. Yuko created the slides. I gave her the words, and she created the slides for me. So we set it up, and I started. And people kept coming, and they kept coming. It's a big library, kept coming. And then they were standing room only. It was scary because it was maybe about 34, 36 people in that room. And then she was 22 sitting because they had seats for 22. And she told me this, she sent me a note, there was 16 standing. Anyway, it lasted an hour and about 20 minutes. And then I said for the question and answered the questions. But it was fabulous. A lot of people were older, a lot of people were younger, a lot of people were new immigrants. Good morning, Loretta. So it was amazing. It was all on credit products, especially lines of credit and credit cards, and then the credit bureau thing. So it went out well. So thanks for asking, everybody, and it was quite an eye-opener how little everybody knows. Even the people that were there, belonging to the library, they were taking their notes ferociously. And she said at the end, we were taking notes. So I got off. People came and talked to me at the end about, although I'd answer questions and stuff. And what do you do? I'm retired and I do everything. So anyway, so look at our topic today. So you are too scared to jump in. Oh, we are all more afraid of what will go wrong than what will go right. We're always afraid of what will go wrong. We never think of what is going to go right, and if it goes right, what will happen. And one thing we have to remember for sure is that we all have a purpose and a mission. We all have a reason. We are going to look at things differently than others. I might want to help somebody in my family. Somebody might think it's not the good thing. That's okay. I am not going to tell you you should be like me, and I'm not going to accept you telling me to be like you. But what I want to do, I'm going to jump in. And I am the person that really believes jump in and a net will appear. When I'm in doubt, I ask that question, which I am very happy I was able to ask that question and go to the seminar based on the response I got from having asked the question. So sometimes when you are too afraid to jump in, stop. Just stop. You're not in there yet. And ask, if you were me, what would you do now? Because sometimes it's to help somebody across the street. Sometimes it's to give somebody an opportunity to take their time to get to where they have to go. Sometimes it's holding a hand. When the hand is so weak in your hand, you can tell that hand, if they go on their own, they will not be able to open a jar to feed themselves. Sometimes it's the person that made a choice that you were against, and now they're back and say, fix it for me, help me. And you should I? Again, ask the question. Because you'll be surprised that when you ask the question, the answer you will get. And you might be too afraid to do this and say, I did it before, and you just keep repeating it. That is not your job. That is not where you stand. If you did it before, and they need you again, or the circumstance repeats itself again, you are not the one that brought it to fruition again. You stand there, and you decide if you want to jump in. Good morning, Arita. How are you feeling this morning? And then you jump in. You stand there and you jump in. And if you are afraid to jump in and say, I have been hurt, I have been disappointed, I have all that, and you're back and you want me to do this, and it could be a situation at work, it could be a family, a friend, somebody, it could just be the experience you're having. Ask that question. What would you do now? If you were me, what would you do now? And go with the answer. Thank you, Arita. Go with that answer. Take it. If I hadn't taken that answer I got yesterday, I wouldn't have had that amazing, wonderful experience that I had. You know, guys, I always ask you, spend 2 minutes and write a full paragraph of something that happened. Yes, hi, Christina. How are you this morning? Welcome back. Feeling good? When the thing is, I always ask you guys, when you have had an experience that is awesome yesterday, and you're writing your gratitude journal today, take 2 minutes, time yourself, and spend 2 minutes and write about that experience. Relive that joyful experience. Because if you were scared to take it, it still came out on top. And that alone is something to celebrate. Especially if you had asked for guidance. You could have said, God, if you were me, what would you do now? Or you could just throw it to the universe. Or you could throw it to the energies around you. I leaned on the kitchen counter. I remembered right there, just before leaving the kitchen, I just bent my head down and I said, if you were me, what would you do now? Before I could raise my head up, I had an answer. Go do this workshop. It will give you an opportunity to see a different side, a different thing. Doors will open through that. Is one door. Here's a door open, walk through it. And as I said, we learn by what we hear. We learn by schooling. We learn by studying. We learn by experience. I always remember this statement. and I am not an American. I do not have an X in this competition. My X is strictly Canadian X. But when it comes time to flash my X, they pay a price for them to get my X. So Sarah Palin, who had been running, as you know, in the time of Obama and McCain, and when it was all over, somebody asked her, "What will you do next?" Maybe that answer was for me, or for 100 or millions of people. But you know what she said? As far as I'm concerned, when another door opens for me, when God opens the door for me, I'm going to walk in. And that stuck with me. And that's how I learn. I always get enough to use it to better my life or the lives of others. I always do. I don't get all of it. You're too afraid to jump in. What do you do? That's all I got. And I'm telling you, I experienced it. And trust me and believe me when I say to you, I didn't see the correlation between that statement and my choice on Wednesday and the experience yesterday. But there it was. Do you know when it came through? When I started speaking to you. It's not written down. So when you're too afraid to jump in, ask the question of your God, the universe, of the rabbit, whatever it is out there. I say, oh, if you were me, what would you do now? Do not ask it without passion. When you ask a question and you put all of you in it, and like I said, I just put my hands like this on the kitchen counter, head down. If you were me, if my head's still down, what would you do now? Go do this free workshop. Maybe of the 36 people the woman sent her email this morning that was there, I didn't pay attention to who was there. What I know for sure is that there is one person there that got something that they can keep or share. My job is not to make every 36 person there take all I have to say. It's just a little piece. They kept coming and they apologized. I said, listen, you're on time. You are on time for what it is you are going to receive. It's up to you to take it. And there was, somebody likes to always check you out. So there was a question that was really funny. And this young man from somewhere in South America, a new immigrant, I asked him 2 years in Canada. And he asked me, he said to me, they told me to only use 30% of my credit card or 70% of my credit card, another one said later on after that. And I said, who told you that? He said, well, they said that is how you get good credit, and to get more credit cards and then use 30% of the amount they give you, or never go more than 30%. I go, that's what they told you, eh? He said, yes. I said, well, do you know that the merchant pays the credit card company when you use your card? No. I said, yeah. So why would the bank tell you only use 30%? That means they make less money, and they're in it to make money. So I said, this is not right, but that's okay. That's what you want to do. So he Googled it, and then he said, you're right. I'm like, okay. I didn't know what to say. I just, okay. And then I explained further. It's up to you to choose to use your credit card. Every time you use it, the bank makes money. And if you go over, then you are paying them again and they make money. Your job as a consumer is to keep more of your money and give everybody less of your money. So it's just to show you what can happen. So he's the one I know for sure that got something. And that's good enough for me. The journey to get there was longer than to stay there. It took me 3 hours back and forth, right? But I made it home before 5. So anyway, the point of what I'm saying is that fearing what will go wrong, and if it goes wrong, now you know when you got it and you can go at it again. So when you fear something has gone wrong, to go wrong, and it goes wrong, that doesn't mean it's all over. That doesn't mean that now you have information. Now you know what to do. So fearing what will go wrong, and if it goes wrong, now you know when you go at it again, you can adapt and change it. Because now you have the information. But that's not our problem, do we? We don't think of that. We think of who will laugh at us, who will tell us, who will make fun of us, who will tell us all these different horrible things that they'd love to tell us about what goes wrong in our life. Who are they? Those are the people that we think is watching us. Fear of fixing what went wrong in the moment, you are now fascinated by it because you're afraid of it. You're looking at it, I can't fix it. You have a fear, you cannot do it. But it really fascinates those that are watching you, not you. So fear of fixing what went wrong in the moment you're in fascinates those who see you. It fascinates me thinking, hey, what you are afraid of is something that I know is intriguing. It fascinates. Why are you afraid of it? Because you're afraid of the opinion of others, when truly you already know that the opinion of others has no effect on your life. But because you believe that, you stick to it and you stay away and you don't jump. How will I look if I jump? How will I look at, what will they think of me? Don't worry. Those that want to think of you will think of you. Somebody had an experience. So listen to that. This young woman was 18. She was out of high school and she had a job. And she got pregnant. So that's a long time ago. And she had a good friend from high school, and that good friend was very supportive of her. And she had that good friend in her life. That baby she was the good friend, godmother, made the good friend the godmother. So the good friend died a couple of weeks ago. And she drove to the other city to go to the funeral. There was a woman there. She was talking to the lady's son. And this woman came up to her, who knew her also at school. She knew both of them. She was friend with the person who died. She came up to her and she said to her, I was hoping you would come to the funeral. They were all in school at the high school at the same time. Because when you got pregnant in high school, she stood by you. Luckily for the woman, she had the guts to say to her, I did not get pregnant in high school. I got pregnant when I was already an elementary school teacher being trained to be like that. And she said, that hurt me. It really, really hurt me. And then I said to her, and then I know her to know her son. He's almost 60 years old, 50 something. She was 18 when it happened. So those two women, about the one who died is 82. The woman she said it to is 82. She too is 82. Can you believe that? All those years ago, she chose an opportunity when she would embarrass that person in front of the dead person's one of her sons, who is in a wheelchair. He's sick. You think, is that? She said she walked away after she told her that. But she told it to me, and it stayed. I know all three of them. They're older than me, but I just know of them. And it was, like you said, Stacey, unbelievable. So people, if they want to hurt you, my friend also said to me, another friend, they will seek you out. They'll flush you out so they can get the opportunity to hurt you. She seek her out. She didn't have to do that. So it doesn't matter though, because today, that son is her crowning glory. She has a wonderful grandson. He lives close by. He's there every day for her. Her other choice, she didn't choose that. The man didn't marry her, but she got married anyway. So you have to realize that when you're afraid to do something, do it. Find a way to do it, because it doesn't matter whether you do it or not. There's always going to be a critic. Theodore Roosevelt taught us that. The critic will always show up. But they don't count. They don't count. They don't build statues for critic. But today, when she looks at her two beautiful, one is an electrical engineer, another one is a great chef, her two grandsons. And her son worked for the government. And now he's retiring, I think, at the age of 50 or 55. The point of the matter is this. Her choice did not have any reason to affect it. That person did not have to drag this into today from all those 55 years ago. So you see, that's why you have to jump in and do what you do, because it does not change your life. And if they want to hurt you or remind you or punish you, they will jump. Hi, Yuko, good morning. How are you feeling today? They'll jump in and find a way to do it. Thinking that the people watching, knowing what went wrong, can affect us in the moment, we must climb to a top of the mountain. We have to realize that when we go to the top, their input did not make a difference to us getting to the top. So the people that criticizes you now and keep you back and tell you, stay back, don't do this, or they watch you, or you believe they have a right to tell you what to do and what not to do. Do not support your grandchildren. Why are you doing this? Why do you have this person, an adult, and you're helping them? Why are you going here? Why are you doing all of these things that you do, Tessa-Marie? When I was going to retire, they said to me, oh my goodness, what are you going to do? You're going to be bored because you're so busy. I said, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to be a human being for a change, because that's what I came in the world to do. I am a human being and I'm being. So the person you see is the person that became a human being. And we have, hello sister, how are you feeling this morning? So you have to be aware that what people think of you does not affect who you become or what you do. It's when you get to the top of the mountain and they have to raise their throat up to look at you up there. Oh, you're so blessed. You have such wonderful children or wonderful grandchildren. Oh, they're so perfect. They're so this. Yeah. Were they there on that journey? Were they there when you had to choose? Were they there when you went to the store to buy underwear for yourself and you came back home with dresses and little outfits for little boys? Were they there? And then suddenly you realize you didn't matter. You went to buy something for you, but instead of buying it for you, came back and all of a sudden you opened the bag, what you went to get wasn't there. That was one of my experiences. I came back with little dresses and a little shirt and pants, and I was very happy doing that until I got home. Oh my goodness, I forgot me. Were they there? So when they don't see those things that you had to do, the times you had to be, you were scared, but you went and you did it anyway. The time that you changed where your life was going and you didn't know where you were going to know but to go, but the one thing you knew, where you were, you didn't like it. And you couldn't stay there because it was not going to be there for you. You jumped. You didn't know the net was going to appear. But you weren't too scared to jump. You looked at the situation and said, I know where I am and I do not like it. I have to move. I have to get out of here. Why do you do this? You shouldn't have done that. You are doing this, you shouldn't do that. But what it is, it doesn't matter what you do. Those critics will find you 55 years later and remind you of the time you burst your toe on a rock. You think it was fun 55 years ago for a woman to be pregnant at 18 in the Caribbean? Do you think so? It wasn't. But can you imagine? And to tell you what happened, they kicked her out of the teacher's program because she was pregnant. So, but she went on. And today she's enjoying the benefit of it. So, but this one had to go back in the past and pull it from 55 years of burial and bring it to the top. She didn't look at the journey though. She didn't look at the journey that other person took. So what you have to know for sure is that thinking that the people watching, knowing what went wrong, can affect us in the mountain that we're climbing? No. Even if they point to us, hey, you have all this baggage and you're climbing a mountain. We must climb to realize that when we go to the top, Their input did not make a difference to us getting to the top. What they thought of us did not make a difference. If you can remember it from 55 years ago, that means you have dragged it from your own past into your present moment. Who are you? Are you aware of where you are? In the gap. That is where the miracles happen. That woman wasted her moment in the gap to make somebody else feel uncomfortable. And she said, it hurt me. And it bothered me. It just dug in me. And I said, you know what? You have to just, I'm not going to tell you to pray for her. I'm going to tell you to say this. I am happy and grateful. I went through this and I have this marvelous, amazing specimen of a human being, my son, who from him, I have a daughter-in-law and 2 grandsons that are fabulous, amazing, and stunning, whatever you want to do. I said, concentrate on what you've got. And I pushed her to do that. And she did it. And she did come back and say to me, thank you. It made me, I'm grateful, but you pushed me to the point where I walked through my life for a few days saying that. And that is what you have to remember. When you jump, because you're not scared because of you. We are always scared of what people will say. And they don't count. Theodore Roosevelt said it best, the critics don't count. And those of you who do not know that poem, you should read it. When you are going to make a decision, to take an action in your life, read that poem. You can read the other one called If by Rudyard Kipling. It also is one of those type of poems that makes you realize these men were thinking. Rudyard Kipling's poem was for his son and to make him a man. We had to learn this poem by heart. I don't remember all of it, but I remember that one we had to learn in school and at home. Our dad insisted we know If. And he would just repeat it. Like my mother, who could tell you all about Portia in The Merchant of Venice, because she was a strong 5'2" businesswoman. She said, in walked Portia, dressed like a barrister of law. You could see she felt it. And she must have hooked it, because she would say to you, when I go to the bank to get a business loan, you would think I am the one giving the bank a business loan. That's how powerful she was. But I could see where she grasped it. From The Merchant of Venice, she saw in those days a woman couldn't be a lawyer in Shakespeare's time. My mother understood that. And she used that to give her power, because she kept telling me that. She loved The Merchant of Venice. And the only thing she always said, she dressed as a man. And she said to Sherlock, take your pound of flesh. But if in taking your pound of flesh, you drop one, you cut or let it go, 1 ounce, 1 drop of Christian blood, you shall forfeit all your lands and what. That was Portia, a female. She couldn't be a lawyer, so she dressed like a man to do it. So sometimes, when you cannot do what you have to do, you have to put something else on. You have to put your armor on. You have to find the armor. And your armor could be your decision to be grateful of where you are in the gap, in the moment. When you are coated with the armor of gratitude and belief, and you step into the world, and you decide, I am happy and grateful that everybody I meet is amazing, beautiful, and spectacular. I bet you use that as your prayer, you will find that. So Portia dressed like a man. My mother poured it in me like a serum. And you, doubting who you are, when you're in that gap and fear of what other people will say, it's going to affect you, remember, it does not affect you. Climb your mountain. Get to the top. And you know what they will say? I never believed that you would make it to the top. And if you want, you can take their own words. I know you don't even believe in you. You see, it's never what the person says to you that hurts. is what you say to them that makes them go back and think. And you might think they're not hurt, but just remember, when they do this to you, you go, are you okay? Can you imagine if that 82-year-old woman had the guts or something in her to realize she can use that word and say to her, are you okay? I wonder how this woman would feel. So today, if you have something you want to do, jump. And if you're too scared to jump, put your hand down somewhere, head down and go, if you were me, what would you do now? And wait, pause. But do it with passion, intensity, and high vitality. Put it in there, and you'll get an answer. Monday is Labor Day. I won't be doing a live, so we'll have 4 days, and then I'm going on 2 weeks vacation. I will do things. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know. I have no idea what I'll do. What I will do in the morning, what I will send to you. Hi, yes, Yuyuko, have the courage to jump. Do not care about what others think. Yeah, I will read it for you. Okay. I forgot that. I had said, sorry. You know, when I pick up the iPad, I have some story to tell. So if you can hang on, hang on. If you can't, you can watch it another time. So let us see what you can get with that. And it's, remember, it's not, it's something you might not get, right? Okay, so you're not giving me what I want. I never understood why it never gives me what I want when I ask it to give me what I want. So we will go here. We always have to ask ourselves a question. And when we ask ourselves a question, we have to believe we will get an answer. So when you ask me to do this, I will do that for you. And it is The Man in the Arena. It is not the critic who counts, by Theodore Roosevelt, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is mad by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. So you see, that's where you have to stand as a human being. And this amazing one, that is by an English poet, and it is, so his name is Rudyard Kipling, like the subway. So you can always go and check it out. And if you find it, read it. And it's a little bit more into with, what you call it, is Old English. So that makes it a little bit harder for you to get it. And of course, to read it is not fun either. And of course, this morning, everything with if that is modern is coming up. I don't want the modern version. I want the one that is not modern. I used to keep it on here, but I got rid of it and I don't know why. So look it up and read it yourself. And then when you get it, see what happens. And when you read it, you will see the difference. If it's, I think I lost it. I can't find it in my thing anymore. So too bad. Otherwise, I would give it. I would get you to see it, but it's not here for me. And because I cannot get it, I cannot read it to you. But it's a lovely poem. And those of you who know it, who knows it, or who knows about it, go in and check it out because you'll find it amazing. I had it saved, but I can't find it. So I must have put it on my external hard drive by mistake, and it's not coming up, so it's not there. But read it, check it out, have fun with it. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday. And there's no Sunday self-care show this week. It's next Sunday. I will be doing it from Philadelphia. I cannot leave Yuko by herself to do that. She would just kill me. So we have to make sure that we do this. I'm just trying to get my thing back to normal. So guys, If, yeah, it is If, yeah, by Rudyard. That's what I had. And it's just, I have it printed. Is it? Yes, it is, Christina. You should read it. It is actually just If by Rudyard Kipling. And honestly, you guys have time? We will have to find it. I am too determined not to find it. Even if nobody's here when I find it, I am going to find it. I have to prove my point, right? I have to prove my point. So, and If, yeah, it is If by Rudyard Kipling. It doesn't show. It will just give you everything. American things or North American things are different. Yeah, that is how you spell his name. Yeah. Here you go. I found it. I think I found it. So it has to, okay. I had it saved. It's another spot. Rudyard Kipling. And he said it's to his son, he wrote it. And he said, if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you have spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, that is liars, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, you fail, you start again. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it in one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, not lose the common touch, if neither foes nor friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distant run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you will be a man, my son. So when you're getting beaten down by just life, pick that one up and read it. And oh my God, I cannot wait to share this with my daughter. Thank you. You see, I knew I had to do it for a reason. Thank you so much. You knew you would. Ceci said, knew you would find it. Ceci has so much faith in me. I will read it. Thanks for sharing. Yes, Christina, take your time and just put yourself in the right moment and think. So talk to you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Stacey, Yuko, Lisa, Loretta, Lonnie, and Christina. Thank you for coming. Talk to you later. Arigato. Bye-bye.